All right, my friends, welcome back. I am still in Gainesville, Georgia. I am leaving today. I was here to see my mother, who is close to passing away. You know how these things are. You can never really determine exactly when that's going to be. It could be hours, it could be days, it could be weeks. Probably not. So it's a very good chance, very likely chance, that I'll have to come back up here in the next week. But before I leave Gainesville, I wanted to take just a few minutes to talk to you and give you some food for thought. And I thought I'd walk around downtown Gainesville a little bit and let you see some of the sights while I'm talking to you. I hope you enjoy this. I did make separate walk tour videos down here that you'll be able to view eventually when I get them edited. And Gainesville is very, very pretty. Downtown Gainesville is beautiful. So anyway, I'm going to share some thoughts with you that I hope you'll find helpful, at least if not now, in the future. And you can leave your comments down below and just tell me what you think. And like the video too, if you would. You know, one of my fears of leaving today is that something will happen to my mother and I won't be here for her. I was by my dad's bedside when he passed away, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. We don't control everything because we can't know everything. And so I have a little bit of fear about leaving, but all in all, I know there's not much I can do about a lot of things. So I just kind of take it in step, and hope for the best and hope that I can be here. But I know I'll see her again regardless. So, I just have to kind of deal with reality in the best way that I can. Reality doesn't change. Reality is fixed. It is what it is, but we all perceive it differently. And that's what I want to talk about today. Getting together with my family and having discussions. There's 4 of us boys. Not all 4 of us are here. In fact, only 2 of us boys are here. One of my brothers is in Spain. He just turned 60, but and I still call him a boy, I guess, because we're the boys. But he's in Spain right now. He'll be back next week. So he's even much different predicament than I am. I can come back quickly. It's going to take him a while to get here. In fact, he probably won't make it in time. And then I have a brother that lives up in Minnesota, and it's not working out for him to be able to be here right now. So it's just me, my younger brother, and my sister. Now, we had a sister when we were younger that lived for only 2 months. She was adopted, and it vexed my parents grievously. It had a big impact on their marriage in many ways. And but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about how each one of us, as we're talking with each other, we have different perceptions of the circumstances that are occurring at the moment. We have different ideas and feelings and emotions about the parent who is a subject here, who, is essentially on the block. Their life is about to pass from them. They're about to fade into eternity, not to be forgotten and not be seen again. We will see them again, but nevertheless, death is the enemy, and no one likes dealing with it. When we get together and talk, we shared a lot of ideas, we shared a lot of emotions, a lot of opinions, and it's just funny what each one of us says. We all say different things because our relationships were different from child to child. So one of the things I want to express here and really drive home is that, if you haven't lost your parents yet, you're going to experience the things that are common to all people that go through this. You've been to funerals where people give eulogies and they say all these wonderful things about people, and it might not be somebody you're necessarily related to or close to, and you listen to them talk and go, they weren't like that. They weren't that good. And You might think to yourself, they might have had good moments, but they weren't great people. And people tend to lie to themselves to help themselves cope better with reality, with the reality of death. And what I want to tell you is, try to face reality head on. See the good and the bad in the people that are before you, even not just on their deathbed, but in everyday life. See the good and the bad. Be honest with yourself about things, and acknowledge them, because acknowledging the truth, bringing it out to the light, will help you actually deal with your loss or your troubles, whatever they might be. They'll help you deal with them much better. And if you're going to lie to yourself, if you're not going to be honest, you're going to have a hard time trusting yourself in the future, because you know that you're just trying to self-soothe. So, nevertheless, think of it like this. Imagine two people in traffic, different cars, two people in traffic, Atlanta traffic, by the way, and it's horrendous. It's just bumper to bumper, and these two people have different ways of dealing with it. One person becomes frustrated. They bang their steering wheel. They punch their dashboard. They curse. They're very impatient. They might yell. We might take it out on somebody. You know, we've all been there. We've probably all done it. But you have another individual who deals with it very patiently. They turn their radio up. They enjoy their music. They make a phone call. They talk to their friends. They distract themselves, and they actually enjoy themselves. Now, what you have here is the same circumstances, but different perceptions of the reality that's going on around them. So you get to choose. You get to choose, and that's quite important to remember. So what I want to say here is that whenever you're going through something, regardless of what it is, you get to choose how you perceive how things are going down, how they're happening. And you want to make sure that you make healthy choices for yourself, because those have your choices have long-term consequences. And you just want to make sure that you're thinking about things in a way that's actually good for you, in ways that you can live with. So, you know, when you're at the crossroads, and you see the train bearing down upon you, you may not like what's coming, but you have to think about what you're going to do. Am I going to step out of the way, or am I going to take this thing head on and complain about it? And so there's questions you have to ask yourself. There's questions you have to ask yourself when you're going through something. Is the way that I'm choosing to look at things, am I being honest with myself about it? Is there more than one way of interpreting what's going on? Is there more than one way? In fact, you know, here's a real life example from the last couple of days. I listened to my brothers, even though some of them are out of town or out of state and out of the country. I listened to them talk, and we all say different things. And when they're so different, you have to ask yourself, why are we seeing things so differently? Doesn't mean it. You have to just tell yourself, it doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't have to be either one. Why is it different? What can I learn from this? Because we all learned things yesterday. And my dad, he passed away 21 years ago. And I did what a lot of people do. I lionized him. And I just, you know, because I was really close to him. And to me, he was just one of the most wonderful people in the world. But as the years have gone by, I've been able to acknowledge some of the things that weren't so good about him, and that it actually made getting over his death and grieving it a lot easier, a lot better. It doesn't mean I don't respect the individual. It doesn't mean I don't miss them. It doesn't mean I don't love them. It's just choosing to accept reality for what it is. And it's learning to trust myself and my judgments a lot more in the future. That's what it equates to. So So when you're hearing such opposing viewpoints and opinions, ask yourself, why are we so different? What can I learn from this? Is there a different way of seeing things? And is there a benefit? Is there a benefit to all of this? Well, there is if you're honest with yourself. Absolutely, there is if you're honest with yourself. But you know, if you choose to only look at things one way, generally you're going to have a negative aspect. That's how I see it, at least, in most people. When they're not adaptive, when they're not resilient, when they're stubborn, they're usually negative. It's never. I'd say most of the time it's never positive. So what can you benefit from it? What can you learn? Is there a different way of looking at things? And I think that'll go a long way. Isn't Gainesville just so neat? Look at this place. I love it. Now, like I said, I did make some walk tour videos, and you're going to want to look at those. It'll take me a little bit to get them edited, but they're really nice. There's more than what I'm showing you here. I'm only walking around to talk to you, but there's a lot more to see, and I will show you in those videos. But Gainesville is nice, so if you ever make it to North Georgia, you got to come by here. There's a lot to do. But nevertheless, I hope you've got my point. I hope you've understood it. I hope it's really meant something to you. I hope you've learned something. Because I have. I'm learning things all the time, and I will probably never stop. I don't want to ever get to the point where I think I know as much as I ever need to know. How boring would that be? Yeah. But you have choices to make. You have options. You can choose to look at reality any way you want. Reality doesn't change, but you can choose to look at it any way you want. But be willing to be adaptive. Consider other points of views. Tell yourself, I might be wrong. I might be wrong about this. I could be right. I might be both right and wrong. And there's a benefit to all of it. Could there be drawbacks? Well, I suppose so. But they always say honesty is the best policy. Well, for everything, I don't know about every single thing in life, but when it comes to things like this, I would say so. You know, we don't lose our parents every day. And what you're going through may not involve the loss of a loved one, but oh, look at this little robin. There he goes. But I hope you tuck this information away, and maybe come back to this video someday and revisit it and think about what's been talked about here. All right, guys. I do thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it. Visit my other videos. Check out my playlist. And I will see you on the next one. In the meantime, be wise.